Tiryanrishishayadashu Tadatyanta vidambanam Janma karma cha vishwatman Ajasya karturatmanaha Tiryanrishishayadashu Tadatyanta vidambanam Janma karma cha vishwatman Ajasya karturatmanaha Tiryanrishishayadashu Tadatyanta vidambanam Synonyms: Janma, birth; Karma, activity; Cha, and; Vishwatman, O soul of the universe; Ajasya, of the unborn; Akartu, of the inactive; Atmanaha, of the vital energy; Tiryak, animal; Nr, human being; Rishu, in the sages; Yadishu, in the water; Tat, that; Atyanta, veritable; Vidambanam, bewildering. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: Of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive, and you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Please repeat. Of course, it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive, and that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages, and aquatics. Verily, this is bewildering. Purport: The transcendental pastimes of the Lord are not only bewildering, but also apparently contradictory. In other words, they are all inconceivable to the limited thinking power of the human being. The Lord is the all-pervading, all-prevailing Supersoul and of all existence, and yet He appears in the form of a boar amongst the animals, in the form of a human being as Rama, Krishna, etc., in the form of the Rishi like Narayana, and in the form of an aquatic like a fish. Yet it is said that he is unborn. He has nothing to do. In the Shruti Mantra, it is said that the Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. No one is equal to or greater than him. He has manifold energies, and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength, and activity. All these statements prove without any question that the Lord's activities, forms, and deeds are all inconceivable to our limited thinking power, and because He is inconceivably powerful, Everything is possible in Him. Therefore, no one can calculate Him exactly. Even actions of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. Every action of the Lord is bewildering to the common man. He cannot be understood by the Vedic knowledge, but he can be easily understood by the pure devotees because they are intimately related with him. The devotees therefore know that although he appears amongst the animals, he is not an animal, nor a man, nor a rishi, nor a fish. He is eternally the Supreme Lord in all circumstances. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are reading the prayers offered by Queen Kunti. This is a sequel to the previous one. I will read the translation of the previous one. O Lord, no one can understand your transcendental pastimes, which appear to be human and are so misleading. You have no specific object of favor, nor do you have any object of envy. People only imagine that you are partial. And today's translation. Of course it is bewildering, O soul of the universe, that you work though you are inactive, and that you take birth though you are the vital force and the unborn. You yourself descend amongst animals, men, sages and aquatics. Verily this is bewildering. So Kunti Maharani is pointing out on the significance of pastimes being bewildering because he appears in different forms and his activities sometimes appear to be human-like and sometimes doesn't appear to be human-like or something extraordinary. So all these activities can be understood only by devotees of the Lord, because devotees see in the view of Shastra. The very fact that devotees, how should they see is being explained in the previous verses by Queen Kunti. So the first prayer that she offers, Antar Bahir Avastitam. You are outside, you are inside, and yet you are avastitam. You are situated. You are yet invisible. So if some common man listens to these statements, you are outside, you are inside, yet you are invisible, it's not easy for everybody to understand, isn't it? So similarly, but how does a devotee see? Because he is accustomed to see in terms of Shastras. Because he has understood in the previous verses or elsewhere he has heard that Lord can see with any part of his body. Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. He can see with his eyes, he can see with his nose, he can see with his hands. So this kind of appreciation is not in the common man, and as such his transcendental pastimes also appear to be bewildering. Say somewhere, for example, he lifts a Govardhan hill. Okay, then he in fact appears to be cheating in kind of war, saying telling Arjuna that you kill Karna in this position, or when he was not having any weapon. So in some situations he appears as a human, like kind of activities that we see, and some other activities he doesn't appear. So the idea that that Kunti Maharani is pointing out here is that it is all the more bewildering when the unborn becomes born. Akartu, you have no work, yet you work, and you appear in different forms. You appear here as animal in the form of a fish, tortoise. You appear as a man like Rama, Krishna, Parashurama. You appear like in the form of a sages like Narayana Rishi. You appear in the aquatics like Matsya. So all this are very much bewildering for a common man, but it is no more bewildering for the devotees of the Lord. So if we were to understand Aja, this word we come across in Bhagavad Gita as also Aja. Aja means unborn. Ajasya kartu atmanaha. Janma karma cha vishvatman. Your janma, your karma, and Vishvatman. Here Krishna is addressed as Vishwa Atman, O soul of the universe. Just like this body is a small portion of a universe. It is called a tiny universe. In one place Prabhupada says that. If this body has to work, this soul has to be active, or it is the soul that energizes the whole body. Similarly, if this 5 feet or 6 feet body has to have that energy to do something, work or move, the soul, the minute particle soul, has to act. And the gigantic universes has to move, and this super soul, Vishwa Atman, he is the whole Atma or super soul, all of the whole Vishwas. So just a small particle is able to move, and he, being a super soul, finer than the finest, and he is able to move the entire universes. The very fact that we are able to see the sunrise at the right time, the very fact sunset, seasons changing, everything acts on his own sweet will, and he doesn't have to do personally. Prabhupada mentions here, yet it is said that he is unborn and he has nothing to do. In the Shruti mantra, it is said that the Supreme Brahman has nothing to do. No one is equal to or greater than him. He has manifold energies, and everything is performed by him perfectly by automatic knowledge, strength and activity. Parasya Shaktir Vividaiva Shruyate Swabhavaki Jnana Bala Kriyacha. For any activity, there are these three things are required: Jnana, knowledge; Bala, strength; and Kriya, the skill or the activity. So, automatic knowledge, strength and activity. Prabhupada uses the word automatic. Lord has naturally all these abilities. He was not taught how to kill a horse. He was not taught how to kill a bull. Or he was not taught how to kill a Trinavarta or a wind demon. But how did he perform all those activities? That's what he is mentioned here. Automatic knowledge, strength and activity. He has that intrinsic quality. That's where God is not made. He is God. God is God. So the activities with this, somebody understands the context that he has got this abilities. And one more, very interesting, Prabhupada mentions these activities of killing, okay, when he was just at the lap of the mother, is little, kind of bewildering. But the activities that he performed in Vrindavan, the Bhagavatam explains very nicely. All the boys would be differently engaged. The boys some boys blew their flute, and the others blew bugle made of horn. Some imitated the buzzing of the bumblebees, and others imitated the voice of the cuckoo. Some boys imitated flying birds by running after the bird's shadow on the ground. Some imitated the beautiful movements and attractive postures of the swans. Some sat down with the ducks, sitting silently. Others imitated and dancing of the peacocks. Some boys attracted young monkeys in the trees. Some jumped into the trees, imitating the monkeys. Some made faces of the monkeys, as the monkeys were accustomed to do, and others jumped from one branch to another. Some boys went to the waterfalls and crossed over the river, jumped with the frogs, and when they saw their own reflections on the water, they would laugh. They would also condemn the sounds of their own echoes. So these activities looked very common to small children doing. And Krishna with his friends is trying to do all these activities. And when he does such activities, many people think ordinary boy. Very ordinary. But what does Bhagavatam say, continuing this? In this way, all the cowherd boys used to play with Krishna, who is the source of Brahman effulgence, for Jnanis desiring to merge into that effulgence, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for the devotees who have accepted eternal servitorship. Yet he is doing all this, but he is that one Supreme Person. For the Jnanis, he becomes as a Brahman effulgence. For the yogis, he becomes as a Paramatma. For the devotees, he acts as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simultaneously, he appears to be doing some common ordinary activities of a boy, and simultaneously he acts as if he is the Supreme Lord, not being approached easily. So this aspect is quite misunderstood, because sometimes it appears in one way, the others elsewhere it appears in a different way. So Prabhupada says, Shri Radha Govinda Ki Jai. Prabhupada continues this: the cowherd boys, having accumulated the result of pious activities for many lives, were able to associate in this way with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can one explain their great fortune? It appears that they were all simple boys, but no, but according to the scriptures, it is told they have accumulated pious activities for many lifetimes to have this opportunity of playing with Krishna. It is not at all ordinary. We come across pastimes of Rama. In one of the pastimes of Rama, the great rishis, they glorify Rama and they desire that they have, Lord Rama has their husband. That shows the devotees are irrespective of what they are in such and such bodies. For example, if those maharshis or rishis, if they are thinking that they are men, they would have not thought that they would want to have Lord Rama as his, Lord Rama has their wife, or Lord Rama has their husband, because they were in a transcendental position, that as a servitorship. That's where Lord Rama accepted them or given his benediction when Lord Rama came as Krishna, and all those Maharshis or Rishis took the form of gopis and fulfilled their desire of having as husband, having Krishna or Rama as their husband. So the devotee's idea is the true aspect or the constitutional position of being a servitude. We all devotees have been accustomed to see Lord in any of these mellows. We see Srimati Radharani as the topmost devotee serving Krishna in the conjugal love. We see Yashoda, topmost devotee, executing or serving Krishna in a Vatsalya Rasa. So, devotees have this understanding, so such and such aspects have to be seen in this way. That's where whenever they see some activities of the Lord, they are not bewildered. They are having this knowledge how to see Krishna. So, in entire prayers that we see from Kunti, we can see how we have to get accustomed to see Krishna through his energies, through his dealings with different devotees. Krishna appears as in different animals, in the species of different animals. So when we see this, then we are well situated. After all, what is the purpose of reading Shastras? It is to understand Krishna. It is to serve him better. So all these statements made by Kunti make us qualified. And yesterday we were hearing, when we read these statements of scriptures, we come to the platform of spirituality. And how do we stay there? As conditioned souls, we have the tendency of falling back to the bodily concept once in a while, and that can be overcome by constant praying to the Lord. And such prayers are these prayers, when we offer to when we come in front of Lord and offer this all knowledge that reflects on our mind, will definitely have an impact, and our our progress in the spiritual platform will continue. Very interestingly, there is a statement how we should be acting, how should we be working for us to be in the spiritual platform. So, after all, we are a spirit soul engaged in this body for some time. As long as we have got this body, we have to do our duties related to Krishna. So Prabhupada points out in one of this conversation, so long we have got this body, we have to do something. Without doing something, we cannot live. The material world will not allow you that you cannot do anything and you will be provided. No. So this means even for our normal course of existence, we have to work. Krishna here is addressed as Akartu. Akartu means he has no work to do. Unlike us, we have lot of works to do. If somebody thinks that I have no work to do, and he cannot even maintain his body and soul. So that's explained in the Bhagavad Gita verse very nicely. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Krishna is saying one cannot maintain the body and soul together without work. So, if we have to take the example of Arjuna, Arjuna is having his dear friend Krishna next to him, and still Krishna insists that you work. Oh Arjuna, you have to do your duty. Krishna would have just, he has got automatic, what are those? Knowledge, strength and activities automatically done. Why does he has to insist Arjuna to fight if he has got automatically everything done? That is for Arjuna's benefit, and in the shoes of Arjuna for all of us benefit, for all of our benefit. So the idea is, Prabhupada gives this wonderful example. Whatever you may do, you may be a President Nixon or ordinary man in the street. Everyone has to do something. That is not possible that you do not work. There is a verse in Vishnu Purana. It says, here the situation, material world, is so stringent that that without working you cannot live. You will die. There is an example in Hitopanishad. Nahi shuptasya simhasya pravashanti mukhe mrige. Suptasya simhasya. Simha means lion. If the lion thinks that I am so powerful animal, king of the forest, why shall I work? No. Therefore, it is said that even he has to work. That he will, without that he will have to starve, even though he is a lion. So, the aspect that Prabhupada brings in here is, one may be well situated in terms of his roti, kapda, makan, they say, but he has to still work. If the lion thinks that I am the king of this forest, no prey will come and say, okay, I am offering myself, you can have. No. Still the lion has to hunt, it has to catch its prey and then be satisfied. Otherwise it has to be starving. So, very good example, nahi suptasya simhasya pravashanti mukhe mruge. A lion is sleeping? No. It has to work. If he does not work, he will have to starve. And what to speak of cats and dogs? They have to work harder than the lion. So, idea is, everybody in this world are supposed to work, and what is that work? That has to be in line with Krishna consciousness, or that has to be pleasing to Krishna. And many verses mention about how one has to work in this way so that we stay in that spiritual platform. We'll stop here if you have any questions. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.